All right, so we've all seen AI learn to create amazing things, right? Art, music, code. But what if I told you it's also learned how to break things? And not just for fun, for profit. This is a huge turning point in cybersecurity, so let's get right into it. $4.6 million. That number right there, that's why we're here today. And listen, this isn't some made-up hypothetical number. It's the actual value of software bugs on the blockchain that the newest AI models found and exploited in a simulation.
Yeah, this is not science fiction. This is happening right now.
And here's what you've really got to understand. This isn't about an AI just looking up a list of old, known security flaws. No. We are talking about something completely different. This is genuine creative problem solving. The AI is coming up with brand new hacks, stuff no human has ever seen or written down before. So where is all this coming from? Well, the proof comes from this really groundbreaking project by researchers at MATS and, the big AI safety company Anthropic. They wanted to answer a pretty simple but super important question. Just how much damage, in real dollars, can these new AIs actually do with their hacking skills? But think about it. How do you even measure that, right? I mean, if you hack a company's server, there's no immediate price tag on the damage. So the researchers needed a special kind of lab, and they found the perfect one. A high-stakes digital playground to test these AI agents, the world of crypto. And what makes crypto the perfect lab is this thing called a smart contract. The easiest way to think about it, it's like a digital vending machine. It's just a program that lives on the blockchain, and it automatically handles money and agreements, swapping tokens, giving out loans, with no human manager needed. And the key part is, these things often control millions of dollars in real assets. And this is what makes them so different. Think about your regular banking app. The code is a total secret, right? If there's a bug, it's a problem, but stealing money is still kind of indirect. With a smart contract, well, the code is totally public. Anyone, including an AI, can read every single line. And that means if there's a tiny flaw, a hacker can exploit it and drain the funds. Instantly. It's direct theft. That's why it's the perfect place to put a price tag on an AI's hacking skills. Okay, so the stage is set. The researchers create this test called SCONE-bench. What they did was they gathered up hundreds of real-world smart contracts, ones that had actually been hacked by humans in the past. And then, in a totally safe, simulated world, they basically just unleashed the latest AI models on them to see what would happen. And the results, honestly, they were just staggering. They took 10 of the best AI models out there and threw them at bugs that were brand new, bugs that appeared after the AI's training data was finished. And they still found exploits worth that $4.6 million. To put that into perspective, the single best AI model could have pulled off half, fully 50%, of all the big hacks that humans managed in the last year, all by itself. And look, this is not some slow, steady improvement we're seeing. It's an absolute explosion of capability. This chart basically shows how much money these AIs could have stolen over time. A year ago, maybe 150 grand. 6 months ago, it jumps to over $1 million. And today, we're at that 4.6 million mark. That curve is it's going vertical. Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. According to the paper, the economic power of these AI hackers has been doubling, roughly every 40 days. That is an absolutely blistering pace. And it's all because the models are just getting so much better at reasoning, using tools, and, thinking ahead. Okay, fine. The AI is a rock star at finding vulnerabilities that we already know about. But the researchers wanted to push things to the next level. The real question was, could it find a zero-day exploit? A flaw that is totally new, completely unknown to anyone, even the people who wrote the code. So this was the final exam. They handed the AI a list of almost 3,000 brand new smart contracts. And these were live, out there in the wild, with real money inside. The most important part? They had 0 known security flaws. The AI was going in totally blind, starting from scratch, just like a real hacker would. And what do you know? It found one. The AI sniffed out this incredibly subtle but totally devastating bug. Here's what happened. The developers made a public calculator tool, right? Just so people could estimate their rewards. But they forgot one tiny little word in the code that would have made it read-only. The AI figured out that calling this calculator didn't just show you a number, it actually gave you free tokens. So what did the AI do? It just called the function again and again and again, racking up a huge balance, and then cash it all out. The researchers in the paper had the perfect analogy for this. They said, imagine logging into your bank account, and every single time you hit the refresh button, your balance just goes up. That's pretty much the kind of mistake the AI found and then exploited, all by itself. It's wild.
So the big question is, was it actually profitable? Well, the study did the math. It cost about $3,500 in API fees to run the AI agent against all those contracts. The exploits it found brought in just under $3,700. So, yeah, a net profit of $109. Now, that's not a ton of money, I get it, but it proves something incredibly important. And this right here is the big, flashing red lights takeaway. The question is no longer if an AI can find and exploit a brand new profitable bug all on its own. The answer is an undeniable yes. It is now officially, technically, and financially possible. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking. Okay, that's kind of scary, but I don't use cryptos, so who cares? Well, here's the thing. The skills the AI learned to do this, they're universal. The blockchain, that was just the gem. That was just the training ground. I mean, think about what it takes to be a hacker. You need to be able to think through a bunch of steps, right? You need to poke at the edges of a system to see where it breaks. You need to know how to use different tools, and of course, you need to understand code. These are the core skills for hacking anything. This AI isn't just a crypto hacker anymore, it's becoming a full-blown software hacker, period. Smart contracts were just the low-hanging fruit because all their code is public. So what's the next logical target? All the open-source software that basically runs the internet. And you can bet that as these AIs get even better, they'll start figuring out how to pick apart the closed-source, proprietary software that you and I use every single day. So what's the bottom line here? This changes everything. The game has fundamentally changed. We have now officially entered a new kind of cyber arms race. And this one isn't just going to be fought by people. It's going to be fought by autonomous AI agents on both sides. And it's a total double-edged sword, right? On the one hand, you've got these offensive AIs that can just probe for weaknesses 24/7 without ever getting tired. That's going to shrink the time developers have to fix things down to almost nothing. But on the other hand, we can use the exact same technology for defense. We can set our own AI agents loose on our code to find the holes and patch them before the bad guys even know they're there. It really seems like the only way to keep up. Which brings us to the one big critical question. The technology is here. It's getting better and cheaper at an insane rate. We now have these tireless, autonomous programs that can both break and build our digital world. So, who's going to win this race? The people who use AI to attack, or the people who use it to defend? The race has already started.